Hello guys. Good evening or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. I am coming in live here from my kitchen and lounge room in Bright. If you are joining me live now, say hi and let me know where you're from. I'm going to give it a bit of time so Facebook will give you notifications. I have made a commitment to go live every day and do a little sharing. And what I came up with just about a few minutes before I started was to talk about self-acceptance and self-love. Is it actually working? Let's see, I might have to refresh here and see on the computer to see if it's working. It appears, yes, it is actually working. So let's see who's going to join me today. So many people joined me yesterday, which was really, really lovely. So beautiful to have so many people joining me. That was beautiful. So today, just to let you know that I had a day to myself today. I went up to Mount Hotham, which is an incredible mountain range here in Australia. It's renowned for being Australia's #1 ski resort, and obviously now it's summer here, so no snow, but absolutely beautiful. I went for a walk. I think it was called Razorbacks track or something like that. It was very, very windy, but it was absolutely worth it. A pretty incredible drive up the mountain, because you've got the steep hill basically just next to the road. So I found it a little bit challenging driving up. I went really, really slowly. So let's get started in a sec, talking very, very quickly about self-love and self-acceptance. So if you've got anything you want to fill me in on, please write it in the comments below, and because I'd love to hear how your view about self-love and self-acceptance is. But I'm going to start with self-acceptance. I made some notes here, so if you see me look a little bit to the side, it's because I made some notes about it. So self-acceptance is really about accepting everything about you, absolutely everything. That's not just your strength, that's your weaknesses, that's all the imperfections or any judgment, or without judgment, embracing absolutely and accepting absolutely everything about you. So what does that really mean? Well, to me, it means that we got to also accept our past and be at peace with that, and accept that and understand also your personal limitations, and be really positive and compassionate with yourself. So if you're watching this, what do you reckon? Do you actually have total self-acceptance? Do you accept all and everything about you? Do you accept what's happened in the past? Do you accept your weaknesses? Do you accept, your strengths? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because having a really positive relationship with ourselves, sometimes we don't have that. So I believe self-acceptance is one of the most important things that we can practice. But when it comes to self-love then, because they're kind of interlinked a little bit, aren't they? Hello, if you are joining me now, give me some likes. I'm going to see if this works today. Yes, it does work. So welcome to the live who popped in here just before. We'll try it again. My stove showed up before when I did that. That's better. So welcome. I'm talking about self-acceptance and self-love. So as I said, self-acceptance is embracing and accepting everything about you without any judgments, without weaknesses, without any, accepting the strength, weaknesses, any imperfections. And without judgment. And isn't it easy that we start to judge ourselves? So just accept yourself and embrace every facet of yourself. That's self-acceptance. But self-love, as I said, it goes kind of beyond self-acceptance, because that's more about actively how you, it involves actually caring about yourself. It's an ongoing thing. It's, for example, that you treat yourself with kindness and compassion. You look after yourself when it comes to your physical body. You look after yourself mentally, and you make choices that honors and respects your own needs and your boundaries. So that goes a little bit beyond self-acceptance. So it's about recognizing and one's worthiness and all that. So self-love, very, very important to have, and of course self-acceptance. So what really is the difference? Well, self-acceptance, it involves acknowledging oneself without judgment, and self-love takes it a little bit further. By actually engaging in decisions and behavior that promotes your well-being. Okay, so it's much more, self-love is much more action approach, and it's got to do with all the personal development you do, personal growth you do. It's kind of puts emphasis on treating yourself with the same kindness and the same consideration as you would treat another fellow human being. So, we all do it at times where we put ourselves down and we have doubts, and we start to criticize ourselves a little bit. So, it's important to really be kind. Be kind to yourself. As I said, be kind to yourself. We're always growing. We're always evolving. We're always having realizations. We've got to be very kinder to ourselves. So what can we do to develop self-acceptance and self-love? Well, first thing I think is practice. I don't like the word mindfulness, because we want the mind not to be full. We want it to be kind of more empty. But the word basically means that you engage in activities or things that make you become a little bit more aware of your thoughts and emotions without judgments. So when you practice anything that is about mindfulness, it does foster a sense of self-awareness, which is the key component to self-acceptance. Again, what can we do to develop self-acceptance and self-love is obviously to challenge our negative thoughts. I mean, we all have negative thoughts. And when we have, we need to recognize it, and we need to replace it with less self-critical thoughts, and with more positive and realistic affirmations. The other thing that's really important to do is to establish achievable goals and realistic goals. And also when we achieve those goals, that we do celebrate and we do acknowledge when we have accomplished those goals, even if they just really, really tiny. We think they're tiny. It's just to, you know, little tasks that you're meant to do. I've got lots of tasks on my list left to do today, but you know, when I tick those off, that I really acknowledge that and go, yeah, that's good. That's good. I get a big star for that. Of course, practice self-care. Self-care activities, you know, like exercise, anything that's going to bring a bit of joy into your life. I've been swimming today, and I went up for a hike at the beautiful resort, or the mountain, Mount Hotham, which is you know, they've got a ski resort up there. Of course, it's not skiing there now because it's summer, but it's Australia's renowned ski resort. So that was time for me. And of course, other things like eating good and sleeping well, that's also really helpful. What else did I write down? Let's see here. Of course, again, gratitude is a big one. To shift the mindset so it contributes to a more positive outlook. So when we fall into the pattern of going kind of downhill, what can I do to change it? Another thing that you can do to foster self-love and self-acceptance is to practice forgiveness. Whoa, that's a big one, isn't it? For a lot of people, we got to practice forgiveness. A lot of it's got to do with the past, hasn't it? Would you agree that a lot of it is, you know, what's happened in the past, and truly forgive ourselves for some of the things that we think are mistakes at the time, but really they are just learnings, aren't they? And what else? Yeah, I mean, the other thing I want to say is we've got to understand that we all are work in progress. We are experiencing life, and we've got to be gentle with ourselves as we do that, because that's all to do with self-love and self-acceptance, isn't it? We got to sometimes reflect. We've got to reflect on our values. We're going to reflect on our beliefs and our aspirations. We've got to understand ourselves better so we can contribute to self-acceptance and self-love practices. So that obviously comes through reflecting on ourselves. Take a bit of time, you know, what's actually working for me, and why am I doing this, and why am I stuck, or why is this happening? Reflecting on that, and because that's also, if things are not going the way they're going, I can absolutely guarantee it's got to do with self-acceptance and self-love deep down. Of course, we've got to learn from mistakes and view them as learning and growing, and understand that being imperfect is just part of being human. I mean, we're perfectly imperfect, aren't we? But no one is perfect. Let's face it, no one is perfect. We're all here. We're doing our life, and we are experiencing things every day, and we're learning. So we're going to learn from our mistakes. I think a big one is that, you know, do things that brings you joy. Things that align with your passions. Because when you do that, you get a sense of fulfillment. So you cannot keep doing, well, you can, but eventually it will break you down. If you do something, or you're in your job, you're in a job that you truly not feel aligned with, it will eventually have an impact on your well-being. So, you know, that could be that you then don't treat yourself in a very respectful way. You might start eating more, and you do self-sabotaging things, because it's linked with deep self-love. Sometimes also we got to reflect on our achievements and accomplishments. Sometimes we forget to actually acknowledge ourselves, how far we've actually come in life. I think that's a big one, because we all have accomplished a lot of things in life. And even if it's things that we haven't perhaps really absolutely loved them, they have been a learning for us. So we can use that to our advantage. What else is another thing that I wrote down that we can do to develop self-love and self-acceptance? I believe another big one is I wrote celebrate your uniqueness. So you got to embrace your individuality and that you are unique, and celebrate who you truly are. What are you good at? What can you bring to this world? What are your superpowers? Reflect on that. What else did I write down? I think I wrote down one more thing. Let's see, or maybe that was it. It's pretty much it, I think. I think that's it. Have you guys got any more? I'm sure you got some more things that you think could be helpful when it comes to developing self-love and self-acceptance. I'd love to hear from you. You can write it in the comments, how you feel about that. So welcome. I can see some of you joining me here. It's great to have you here. Every day I go live and share here on Facebook. And today I was sharing a little bit about self-acceptance and self-love, which are absolutely the biggest, most important things when it comes to feeling good about yourself, and it's affecting your whole life. If you have behaviors, for example, that are not the best behaviors, I can absolutely guarantee that it stems back to self-love. Now, I want to read something to you, and it's actually from this beautiful oracle card deck that I got the other day, which I really love. And one of the exercises that it actually says to do is to look in the mirror with absolute love and say out loud, I am true love, because that's what you are. And to attract true love is to first embody true love. So again, it comes down to self-acceptance and self-love, doesn't it? So when you embody true love within yourself, you are choosing to love yourself without judgments and criticism. You love and accept all aspects of yourself with compassion. So, yeah, that is cool. But, I think a big question for us to all ask, and I do it myself because I can be the harshest critic, as some of my closest people around me know. I can be very hard with myself, and a lot of women, a lot of men are as well. We need to have really unconditional self-acceptance, and that's true. Remind ourselves that how we treat ourselves, is can often be not very nice. But ask yourself, would you treat another fellow being, human being that way? Well, maybe, but ideally we treat people with kindness and compassion. And that's certainly something that I've set as my goal and intention moving forward in life, and that is to absolutely be more kind, compassionate, and humble, and not just towards other people, also towards myself. And often when we project things, like if we project and we're frustrated with other people, well, isn't that a mirror of ourself and our state, I would say, because it often comes from, deep down, it comes from ourselves. So everything is mirrored back, isn't it? Isn't it? So that was my little sharing. I'm going to continue on with my tasks, and I hope you have a beautiful morning or evening, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I hope you're having a great day with lots of fireworks. I just love these signs. Let's see if we can get a firework again. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't want to do fireworks again. Let's see. Let's see if we can get some fireworks again. There we go. Here's some fireworks for you guys. So, thank you guys for being here. Please write something in the comments. I'm grateful for you guys. And I think now in the world we're living in, where we are shifting and changing vibrationally and energetically, and we are forced to self-reflect and take a look at all aspects of ourselves. The dark side, it keeps coming up. Anyone around me knows that there's more and more and more and more things coming up, and I take more and more look at myself. That's what's that's really what's happening now for a lot of people. We are forced to look at not just our good sides, but also our shadow sides, and look at that. If we look at it with compassion and kindness, and with a bit of self-love, we can then keep becoming more and more aware, because it's the level of awareness we have, isn't it? So it's all about this ascension that we are going through at the moment, and we are all at different paths. Everyone is at different paths, and we got to accept ourselves for where we are in the process, but we also got to accept our fellow human beings, because that path we are on is a path that is unique to us, and no one can kind of come in and make it go quicker for us. We got to do the work ourselves. We got to be willing to have a look at everything. So as you guys here become more aware and more self-aware, practice more self-love, self-awareness, collectively we do raise the frequency. We do help with the process of the ascension in this amazing world we're living in now. So that's a beautiful thing. That's what I think anyway. And I think that's going to help everyone in this world. And the quicker we can do it, the faster and the more we can focus on that, the more quicker shift we will see in the world. And maybe when I'm alive, I will see an absolute different new earth, because the new earth that is here and is all about new levels of awareness. That's what it is. But that's a topic for another time. This was about self-love and self-acceptance, the difference of it. It started off a little bit clunky, but I think I got there in the end. What do you think? Can you give me thumbs or hearts to let me know if you got something out of this video? And if you got comments, please post them below. Thank you very much. And of course, anyone that is on this journey of, shall I call it self-reflection? Shall we call it the dark night of the soul? Whatever we call it, whatever path you're on, whatever you're going through, can sometimes be very confronting, and sometimes we need someone to talk to become a little bit more aware, because sometimes just talking to someone, we become more aware of ourselves, and that obviously gives us the power to choose the path we want to take. That doesn't mean that it's easy at all. As I know, it's not easy, but it is worth it, because it's all about growth. And once people grow, then, you know, they get to another level and they get more awareness. And that's really what life is all about, you know. If you know the level of awareness, you know, enlightenment, you know, maybe that's one of your goals, to become enlightened. That's a lot of awareness to happen, a lot of self-reflection. I hope you have a beautiful day. I have some Swedish friends here, and I have some Aussie friends. It's so beautiful connecting with so many people all over the world. I would like to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will post a link to that below, so you can follow and subscribe. There's all kinds of videos there about personal growth, of course, wellness, about transforming your life and wellness. So feel free to subscribe to that, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, because I'll be here again after a night's sleep and a morning. I will have some reflections for sure to share with you. So have a good night or good morning, and I will see you in about 24 hours time. Bye-bye.